And Republican congressional candidate Charles DeJoux is faulting Case and Hanabusa for not living in the congressional district they're running to represent. Congress allows its members to live outside of their districts. They must only live somewhere in the state they represent. KITV4's Keoki Kerr is live with the story. Keoki?
Well, Dick, DeJoux says Democrats Case and Hanabusa emphasize their roots and their residency in the 2nd congressional district of rural Oahu and the neighbor islands when they ran for that seat in previous elections. But now they're running to represent urban Honolulu, and neither of them lives there.
Democrat Ed Case lives in Kaneohe, outside the 1st Congressional District's boundaries of Hawaii Kai to Mililani. Same goes for fellow Democrat Colleen Hanabusa, who lives in Ko'olina. Their Republican opponent, who has lived in Hawaii Kai for nearly 8 years, says,
I think it's important for any representative to live in the community to which they seek to represent.
I have probably lived in the 1st Congressional 4 times as long as Charles has.
Case points out he represented Manoa in the state house for 9 years, and he says since there are only 2 representatives in Congress from Hawaii, they both essentially serve as at-large lawmakers working on issues that affect the entire state.
I know the 1st Congressional far better than either of the other candidates, any of the candidates. I mean, I've not only lived in it most of my life, worked in it most of my life.
But Charles DeJoux says politicians are more in touch if they live closer to people they represent.
Living in your community, you're going shopping there, you're meeting your neighbors there, and you have a better feel for what the concerns are of your local constituents. And when you're not living in the community, there's something that's missing, and I think you're not as rich and as strong a representative.
60% of my district is Oahu. I live on Oahu.
Congresswoman Mazie Hirono, who represents rural Oahu and the neighbor islands, also does not live in her 2nd congressional district. She lives near Kalani High School.
I think it's less of an issue for people in Hawaii. And clearly when I was lieutenant governor, I represented the whole state for 8 years. Which is more than I can say for, Charles DeJoux.
Now, Colleen Hanabusa's campaign released a statement this afternoon saying that as State Senate President, she has tackled legislative topics and problems that span the entire state, including the 1st Congressional District, and therefore they say she is well aware of the kinds of issues that people in the district care about. Ballots for the special congressional election will be mailed to voters at the end of the month, and the winner announced May 22nd. Keoki Kerr, KITV4 News.